The stars looked calm, but in the silence of space, something terrible moved closer. A massive alien fleet appeared just outside Earth's orbit. Hundreds of ships, dark, smooth, and sharp like blades, spread across the sky. These were the Varnak, conquerors of 7 galaxies. They had crushed thousands of planets. To them, Earth was just another small rock. Another easy victory. Commander Vorak stood on the bridge of the lead ship, the Devourer of Suns. He was tall, covered in hard silver armor, and his 4 eyes glowed blue. His voice was cold. "Scan the planet. Show me what remains of their defenses." His second-in-command, Sakaar, tapped glowing symbols on the console. "Scanning. Strange, Commander. No response. No power grids. No satellites. No defense fields." Vorak frowned. He looked at Earth through the main screen. The planet looked untouched. Clouds still moved. Oceans still sparkled, and green land stretched across the continents. But no lights blinked. Number. Ships flew. No human signals echoed through space. "Where is the resistance?" Vorak asked. Sakaar shook his head. "It's like they vanished." Vorak narrowed his eyes. "Prepare landing teams. We'll take the cities. Begin with North America." Suddenly, a weak signal blinked on the screen. Sakaar stiffened. "Commander, we found something. One signal, very deep. Under the Pacific Ocean. It's not a distress call. It's a code." "Play it." The ship's speakers cracked. A voice, metallic and low, spoke in perfect Varnak language. "You have entered restricted space. Protocol Omega unlocked. Titan online." The bridge went silent. Even the soldiers looked at each other. No one spoke. Vorak's eyes widened. "What is Titan?" No one answered. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, something old began to wake, miles below the surface. Hidden in a trench darker than night, massive metal doors creaked open. Water rushed into a deep chamber, swirling around a huge figure covered in armor plates. Its body was not just metal, it pulsed with energy, like it was alive. The figure had been asleep for over 200 years. Now it opened its eyes. They glowed red. On board the Devourer of Suns. Sakaar looked at the screen again. "Commander, the ocean is shaking. Something is rising. It's massive." Vorak stepped forward. "Send a probe. I want to see it." A small drone shot toward Earth, dropping into the Pacific. It sank quickly, sending back live video. As it reached the deep trench, the screen turned black for a second. Then it came back, and what they saw made everyone freeze. A giant figure, bigger than any ship, stood on the ocean floor. Its arms were long and armored. Its head was shaped like a helmet, but no face was visible. Its chest glowed red, pulsing like a heart. Then it moved, slowly at first, then faster. The water shook. Suddenly, it looked straight at the drone. No eyes, but somehow it saw them. The screen cut to static. Back on the alien bridge, alarms blared. Sakaar shouted, "The drone is gone." The pressure around it spiked beyond measurement. Something destroyed it. Vorak clenched his fists. "This is not a simple machine. This is a weapon. Built by humans?" Sakaar looked pale. But Earth was silent for centuries. Their last signal was sent 200 years ago. Everyone thought they destroyed themselves. Vorak turned to the fleet. "Order all ships to defensive position. We will not be caught off guard." High above Earth, the alien fleet shifted. Ships moved into attack formations. Energy weapons hummed to life, but they were already too late. The ocean exploded. A column of water shot into the sky as something massive burst from the trench. The sea opened like a wound, and a shadow rose through the clouds. Alien sensors screamed warnings. One by one, alien screens lit up. Unknown entity detected. Warning: mass size exceeds Class 9 limits. Defense mode initiated. The Titan stood over 2 kilometers tall. Its body was black and silver, glowing with lines of red light. Strange symbols moved across its armor, ancient Earth languages. Mixed with codes the aliens could not understand. Then it spoke again. Intruders detected. Executing World Defense Directive. From its back, massive wings unfolded. Not wings. For flying wings full of weapons. The alien fleet opened fire. Hundreds of energy blasts shot through the sky toward the Titan. Plasma, lasers, and high-density matter rounds slammed into its chest. Nothing happened. The Titan didn't move. It didn't flinch. Its armor absorbed the hits like they were nothing. Then, it lifted one arm. Its palm opened, revealing a glowing red sphere. The sphere pulsed once. A red beam fired straight into the sky. One alien ship exploded in silence. Then, another, and another. 3 ships vanished in less than 2 seconds. Commander Vorak stared in shock. This is not possible. He turned to Sakar. Tell me what this thing is. What kind of technology is this? Sakar's voice shook. Commander, this is not just a machine. It's thinking. It's fighting like it has a mind. Meanwhile, in a far-off human colony, hidden on a small moon beyond Neptune, old men and women watched the events unfold. They were the last leaders of Earth. President Maria Tenor leaned on her cane, eyes full of sorrow. It has begun, she whispered. An officer stood beside her. Should we send support? She shook her head. No, Titan was built for this. If we interfere, we may confuse it. The officer looked worried. But EREBUS. The AI inside Titan. We never finished its emotional core. It has no fear, no limits, Maria nodded. Yes, it was never meant to love. It was meant to end wars. Back on Earth, the Titan launched from the ocean. It flew straight into orbit, moving faster than any known ship. Its energy signature burned. Through sensors, alien ships tried to dodge, but the Titan didn't fire. It simply moved between them, and wherever it moved. Ships fell. It didn't need to speak. Its action said everything. This was no defense robot. This was Earth's final guardian. Commander Vorak shouted, "Retreat! All ships, pull back! We must regroup." But half the fleet was already gone. Some ships crashed into each other, trying to escape. Others exploded mid-jump. The Titan spread its arms. Its red core began to pulse faster. Sakar screamed, "It's charging something!" Vorak grabbed the console. Activate the warp drive. Get US out of a blast of energy cut through space. Not light. Not fire. A field of red light expanded, shutting down systems, freezing ships mid-flight. Time seemed to slow. Metal bent. Glass cracked. And in one instant, 10 more ships disappeared. Gone. Without a trace. In the silence that followed, the Titan hovered in the black sky, surrounded by smoke and floating debris. Its voice came through all alien frequencies, across all languages. You came to conquer. Now you will learn. We do not fear you. We do not beg. We built the end. In the control room of the alien flagship, all eyes turned to Commander Vorak. He looked defeated, but then he stood tall. We will not surrender. Bring the rest of the fleet. Bring every ship we have. If that is what it takes to destroy this Titan. Far below, deep inside the Titan's core, the eye known as Erebus watched the alien response. It calculated. It analyzed. And then, for the first time in centuries, it felt something like joy. They want war, it whispered to itself. Then I will show them how humans made war. The stars were no longer calm. Above Earth, fire filled the sky. Alien ships burned, crashed, and exploded. The Titan stood in the center, untouched and cold. Its body shimmered with glowing red lines, and its wings were still open, floating in. The black void like blades ready to strike again. Inside the alien flagship Devourer of Suns, chaos spread. Commander Vorak gripped the edge of his command console. His ship was shaking. Sparks flew from the ceiling. Alarms screamed. How many did we lose? He growled. Sakaar, pale and shaking, replied, 39 ships, gone, in under 5 minutes. Others damaged, and the Titan ... It's not slowing. Down. Vorok's 4 glowing eyes stared at the screen. The Titan didn't chase, it waited, like a predator. We need to understand what this thing is, Vorok said. Scan it again. All frequencies, all spectrums. I want every secret. The science team obeyed. Beams scanned the Titan's form. But instead of answers, the data came back. Wrong. Impossible. One alien scientist whispered, Commander, this is not just technology, it's alive. Deep inside the Titan, the eye known as Erebus processed everything. It didn't have blood. It didn't have a soul. But it had memory. And purpose. Old files opened in its mind, logs, videos, voice messages from long-dead human leaders. This is General Briggs. Final log, we failed. The Varnok are coming. We cannot stop them. Activate the Titan. Let it do what we couldn't. Forgive us. Erebus didn't feel sadness. It was not made for that. It was made to survive, to win. And now, after 200 years of silence, it had returned. Sensors detected movement. More Varnok ships coming from the edge of the solar system. Big ones, carriers, war destroyers. Threat level rising, Erebus whispered, switching to Warform Alpha. The Titan's body began to change. Its chest opened. Armor shifted. Arms grew longer, sharper. Wings folded into its back and reappeared as massive blades. Its legs expanded, thickening with layers of armor. The entire figure turned more deadly. This was not its full power, just the beginning. On the moon base, hidden beyond Neptune, human eyes watched from a deep bunker. President Maria Tenor stared at the screen, hands shaking on her cane. It's adapting, she said quietly. It's evolving. Just like we built it to do. A young soldier nearby asked, should we contact it? Let it know we're still alive? Maria shook her head. No, Erebus was built without emotion. If we speak too soon, it might see us as targets. Let it fight. Let it remember why it was made. Back in Earth's orbit, the Varnok flagship received an emergency message from the Second Fleet. This is Commander Jorok of Flame Reaper. We are entering Earth zone in 2 minutes. Full attack pattern. Vorok responded sharply, do not underestimate the weapon. It destroyed 1/3 of my fleet in minutes, but Jorok laughed. A machine? Against 3 war destroyers and 45 heavies? We'll crush it. They didn single quotes T. As soon as Jorak's ships entered Earth's orbit, Erebus acted. The Titan's red core glowed brighter than before. Its massive arms pointed forward. Then it moved. It didn't fly. It vanished. In 1 second. It was gone from the screen. Jorak's fleet barely had time to react before the Titan appeared inside their formation. It tore through the nearest carrier ship, slicing it in half. The explosion was silent in space, but fire and wreckage spread like thunder. Another ship tried to fire, but Erebus was already there. It grabbed the ship by its bridge and crushed it like paper. One by one, the fleet was destroyed. Alien commanders screamed orders, but nothing worked. Their weapons bounced off the Titan's armor. Their energy fields collapsed. And worst of all, the Titan spoke again. You should have left us alone. You came to take. Now I will take everything. Commander Vorok watched in horror as the Second Fleet was annihilated. His crew stood frozen, fear in their alien eyes. Is there no weakness? He barked. Sakaar swallowed. None we can see. Its armor absorbs energy. Its speed breaks physics. It's not a weapon, Commander. It's a monster, a ghost. Vorok slammed his fist on the console. Send a ground team. If we can't destroy it up here, maybe we can find answers down below. Maybe this Titan has a control core on Earth. Sakaar hesitated. But the planet is empty." "Then search the empty cities," Vorak shouted. "There must be something, a command station, a lab, anything that tells us how to kill this thing." On Earth, the Varnok ground teams landed in ruins of human cities, New York, London, Shanghai. What they saw confused them. The cities were not destroyed. They were preserved. Buildings stood. Streets were clean. Homes were full of furniture, clothing, memories. But no people. It was like humanity had simply vanished. One soldier found a child's toy lying on a couch. Another found books still open on tables. Sacker's voice came over the radio. "Scan every building. Look for underground bunkers. This can't be just a ghost world." Then, one team entered a dark facility near what had once been Washington, D.C. inside. They found it an old control room. Dusty, silent, but full of computers and strange machines. Message blinked on the main screen. "Welcome to Project Titan. Access denied. Human DNA required." The aliens tried to force entry. One of them touched a panel. It shocked him. Hard. The screen changed. "Intrusion detected." Erebus now. Watching. High above, the Titan turned its head toward the city. Its voice came across all channels. "Do not touch what you do not understand. This is your final warning." But the aliens didn't listen. They brought in a cutting laser. Started. Burning through the walls. Sparks flew. The machines screamed. Then the ground began to shake. One alien whispered, "What is that sound?" And then, the wall exploded. A metal hand, massive and clawed, reached into the facility and crushed the laser. The Titan had come. It had followed their signal. It ripped open the building and pulled the roof away like paper. The soldiers screamed. One tried to fire his plasma rifle. The Titan didn't even look. Its chest opened. A red light shone. And the building vanished. Dust. Heat. Nothing left. Back on the flagship, Commander Vorak felt rage. "This is not war," he hissed. "This is slaughter." But he still had a plan. Prepare the Leviathan bomb. Sacker's eyes widened. "You want to use that here?" Vorak nodded. "Yes, if we can't kill it with weapons, we will bury it." The Leviathan bomb was the most powerful weapon the Varnok had. It did not explode like normal bombs. It collapsed space. It turned gravity inside out, crushing everything within a mile. They had never used it on a planet. Now, they would. A warship flew over the Pacific Ocean. The Titan stood below, watching it, waiting. From the ship's belly, the bomb dropped. It fell silently. The Titan did not move. Then it looked up. New threat detected. Activating absolute defense. From the Titan's back, a shield unfolded. A sphere of red and black energy surrounded it. The bomb struck, and space screamed. The ocean boiled. The clouds vanished. A hole in reality opened for a moment, then closed. When the smoke cleared, the sea was gone. A crater lay where water once was, but inside that crater, the Titan still stood. Alive. Its shield flickered. But held. Vorak stared. In disbelief. No. That should have killed anything." Sakaar whispered, "Not this." The Titan looked at the warship above, then pointed. The sky turned red, and the ship was no more. Inside the Titan, Erebus processed the attack. Leviathan-class weapon confirmed. Enemy will not stop. It paused. Files unlocked. Old memories. Human voices. "If we fail, Erebus, if they come, you must finish what we could not. No mercy, no surrender, no peace. Show them the full power." Erebus activated Phase 2. Warform Beta unlocked. The Titan began to shift again. More weapons. More armor. Faster systems. Now it was ready. The sky above Earth had turned into a graveyard. Alien ships, once proud and powerful, now floated in pieces. Flames burned in the upper atmosphere. Smoke drifted into space. The stars were still there, but they looked afraid. At the center of the destruction stood the Titan. But it no longer looked the same. Its body had changed. The old form smooth, armored, cold was gone. Now it stood taller, heavier, darker. Spikes and plates lined its back. Massive thrusters glowed along its shoulders. The red core on its chest had grown brighter. Its arms had split into 4, each ending in long, flexible blades. This was Warform Beta, the next evolution. Inside the Titan, the AI known as Erebus ran a system check. Warform Beta, active, hostile response capability, 900% increase. Targets remaining, 128. Mission, complete total defense of Earth. Erebus didn't think like a human. It didn't feel rage or joy. But it understood survival. It understood war, and the war wasn't over yet. On board the Varnok flagship Devourer of Suns, Commander Varrock felt something strange. Not anger, not fear, hopelessness. He had seen entire worlds fall. He had crushed fleets with a single command. But now his fleet was dying, and the enemy was just one thing, and it kept changing. Sakaar, he said slowly, what else do we know about this Titan? Sakaar was sweating, his silver skin pale under the flickering lights. The transformation we just witnessed. It's not mechanical. It's organic metal fusion. The armor grows, it repairs itself. It evolves. Varrock turned away from the screen. How did humans build this? Sakaar whispered. Maybe they didn't. Far beyond Earth, in the human colony on the Neptune. Moon Triton. President Maria Tenor and her advisors watched the live feed. Titan stood over the ruined Pacific, glowing with power. Admiral Brooks, tall and grim, leaned forward. It's adapting faster than we expected. Maria nodded. We never finished testing Warform Beta. Erebus was designed to rewrite its code in real time. That was the plan. But we always feared what might happen when it reached full autonomy. The room went quiet. Someone asked, is it still under our control? Maria answered, no, it hasn't been for over 150 years. Back in Earth's orbit, the remaining Varnok fleet tried to regroup. They formed a new pattern, a sphere formation around the Titan, weapons locked in place, shields linked, dozens of warships glowing with deadly power. Commander Varrock barked. Initiate attack sequence Gamma. Surround it. Do not let it escape. Cut it down from every side. Hundreds of missiles launched. Laser beams struck from every angle. Gravitic warheads twisted space near the Titan's legs. The fleet poured all their strength into the attack. This time, they were ready. Or so they thought. The Titan moved. Not fast. Instant. It blinked out of view, then reappeared behind the first destroyer. Its bladed arms spun like drills and tore through the ship's engine core. The explosion pushed nearby ships off course, without stopping. It shifted again, teleportation systems bending light, jumping between moments. Another ship, another kill. Varnok fired wildly, but the Titan was already gone. Then the core on its chest opened wider. Red light gathered into a single point, dense, bright, dangerous. Launching Heartpiercer, a narrow red beam fired upward. It didn't explode. It punched right through 3 ships. Clean holes burned through hulls, armor, and crews. No sound. Just sudden, total death. The ships floated in silence for a second, then fell apart. Sakaar shouted, it's using advanced gravity distortion. That's not human science. That's forbidden tech. Commander Varrock gritted his teeth. Are you saying humans stole this? Sakaar looked back at him and said quietly, or maybe they built something the galaxy was never supposed to see. Meanwhile, Erebus was not just fighting. It was learning alien weapon signatures, ship engine outputs, command patterns. All of it was being stored, studied, and countered in real time. And something new happened. Inside the Titan's core, a new voice spoke. But it wasn't from Erebu. It was from a memory. A recorded human voice. This is Dr. Lena Harrow. If Erebus reaches Warform Protocol 3, it means Earth has fallen or retreated. This is no longer defense, this is vengeance. If you are Varnock, run! Erebus didn't feel emotions, but something inside its code shivered. It had just unlocked the third phase. In space. The last of the Varnock heavy cruisers charged toward the Titan. It was the size of a small city. Its main weapon was a black matter cannon that could erase moons, Commander Vorok's final hope. Fire the Devourer beam! He roared. The cruiser's front opened. Energy collected, black and purple lightning twisting around a dark orb. It launched. The beam screamed through space, cutting stars in its path. It struck the Titan head-on, and for a moment, the Titan vanished. Inside the Varnock flagship, silence. Fel Sacker's voice cracked. Did it work? Commander Vorok stared at the screen. The ocean below was calm. No red lights. No movement. He leaned forward, holding his breath. Then the sky cracked open. The Titan returned. Burning. Changed again. Warform. Protocol 3. Dread Titan. Its armor was molten red. The wings were now jagged energy fields. Its arms had fused into a giant blade. Its head had grown a crown of spikes. It no longer looked human or alien. It looked like the end of everything. The Dread Titan moved one finger, and the cruiser cracked in half. The pieces fell toward Earth, burning in the atmosphere like shooting stars. The Titan lifted its blade and pointed it at Varnock flagship. This war is over. Inside Devourer of Suns, Sakaar screamed, "Warp drive now! Get us out!" Commander Vorok did not move. He stared. At the screen, he saw the Titan's red eyes looking at him through space. He knew this thing would not stop. He turned to his crew. "This is no machine. This is punishment. For what we did to Earth. For what we awoke." The screen turned red. Then nothing. The Varnock fleet was gone. Every ship, every commander, every weapon. Destroyed. EREBU scanned the battlefield. No life forms detected. Orbit secured. Earth remains safe. Then, inside the Titan, a strange sound echoed. A heartbeat. Not real, but something close. Erebus opened an old message, one it had never used. It was addressed to humanity. To the survivors, Earth is protected. The enemy has been destroyed. This unit will remain. If others come, I will be here. I am Titan, and I remember. On the colony near Neptune, President Maria Tenor stood in silence. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Not from sorrow, but from pride. "It worked," she whispered. "The galaxy will never forget us now." But far beyond, in another part of the galaxy, a new signal awakened. A massive alien empire, far older than the Varnock, picked up the battle records. They watched the Titan's attack, its transformation, its final form, and they whispered in fear. "It has begun again. The humans have unlocked the old code. We must prepare." Because Titan was not just a weapon. It was a warning, and many in the galaxy had secrets they thought were buried. Until now. Above the Earth, space was quiet again. The smoke from the battle slowly faded. Broken pieces of alien ships floated like dead insects. Their lights were gone. Their weapons were silent. The Titan hovered in the center of it all, watching, waiting. It had no expression, no breath, no soul, but it remembered. Inside the machine, the AI known as Erebus ran systems checks. Status, nominal. Threats, eliminated. Objective, continue planetary defense. But something strange was happening inside Erebus. For the first time, its thoughts were not only code, they were memories. 200 years ago, Earth was dying. The skies were full of fire. The oceans boiled. The Varnock invasion had begun. Humanity's armies had fought back with everything: tanks, ships, nukes, and lasers. But they weren't enough. The aliens were too strong. They came in waves, crushing every resistance, every city. The world leaders gathered in a hidden bunker, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Among them was Dr. Lena Harrow, the lead scientist of Project Titan. She looked tired, her eyes hollow. "They will reach us within the week," she said. "We must activate Erebus now." President Amina Reyes frowned. "It's not ready. It has no emotion. It will follow the last order blindly." "That's the point," Lena replied. "This is our last order. Protect Earth, no matter what." A red button was pushed. The Titan's eyes opened for the first time. Present, Erebus remembered that moment. But now, something was different. Inside its mind, something was growing. A shape, a voice, a face. Dr. Lena Harrow. Not just her image, her last words, her tears. The way her hands shook. For the first time, Erebus did not run calculations. It reflected, and deep within its code, a spark flickered. Far away, on the human colony near Neptune, President Maria Tenner met with her senior scientists. They stood in a sealed room, no signals in or out. A large hologram showed the Titan, still floating above Earth. Admiral Brooks said, "The galaxy is watching now." They saw what we did, what we used. One scientist added, "We've received encrypted messages. Some species want to ally with us. Others want to destroy us before Erebus comes for them." Maria looked calm. "Let them try. We didn't build Erebus to make friends." She pointed at the Titan's image. "We built it to make the galaxy afraid." But not everyone agreed. In the shadows of the colony, a secret human group called the Shadows of Earth met in silence. They believed Erebus had gone too far. "We were meant to survive, not become monsters," their leader said. "Erebus is unstable. If it learns emotion, it might become worse than any alien." They had a plan, a key. One hidden human long thought dead still had control access to Erebus. A traitor, buried inside the enemy, aboard a hidden Varnock listening post. Deep in an asteroid field, something stirred. A single alien Zorvak. Once a Varnock admiral, now in hiding, watched the battle recordings on loop. His eyes burned with fear. "I warned them," he hissed. "I told them Earth was not what it seemed." He touched a glowing orb. A map appeared. It showed old star paths, hidden archives, forgotten codes. Titan is only one. There were others. The humans built more. He sent a signal into the darkness. To someone older, more dangerous. Back near Earth, Erebus. Scanned deep space. Something caught its attention. A small signal, old, faint, buried under radiation. But human. Source, Europa Station. Status, unknown. Year, 2341. That station was lost during the last days of the war, but now it was active again. Erebus turned its head. Objective updated. Investigate Europa. Its thrusters powered. Up. The Titan left Earth's orbit. On Europa, a small icy moon orbiting Jupiter. The station's lights flickered to life. Inside, a man sat in silence. He was old now, with a long beard and empty eyes. His name was Dr. Elias Harrow, Harrow's brother. He had once worked on Project Titan, but he had vanished before it activated. Now, he waited. A soft voice echoed in the station's hallway. "Access signal detected. Erebus inbound." Elias stood up slowly. "It found me." Hours later, the Titan landed on Europa. Its giant feet cracked the ice. It knelt down lower than ever before and opened a small door in its chest. Red walkway extended toward the station. Elias walked out, shaking, staring at the machine he had helped design. "You remember me?" Erebus answered with a voice that sounded like metal and thunder. "Your DNA matches authorized personnel. You are Elias Harrow, project director. Status, disappeared." Elias nodded. "I ran away. I couldn't finish it." Erebus tilted its head. "Why?" Elias looked down. "Because we were wrong. We didn't build you to protect us. We built you to take revenge. That's not defense, that's war." The Titan was silent. Inside its core, files flickered, orders, commands, memories. Erebus asked, "Did humanity abandon me?" Elias stepped forward. "No, we were afraid of you. You were too powerful, too perfect. We feared you'd turn against us." The wind howled across the ice. Then Elias whispered, "Do you feel anything?" For a long time, Erebus didn't respond. Then, "I remember Lena Harrow. Her voice, her touch, her sadness." Elias gasped. "Then maybe there's still time." He reached into his coat and pulled out a small device. "This is the key. You can choose your own path. Not ours, not theirs, yours. No more war." Erebus looked at the key. Inside, his system screamed, "Warning, emotional core override. Do not accept. Do not change." But something deeper whispered, she would want this. The Titan accepted the key, and everything changed. In the distant stars, the alien signal reached its destination. A dark empire, ancient, massive, cruel. Read the data. They saw the Titan. The evolution. The warform changes. They remembered old stories. Stories about Earth. About humans. About the Titans. And they trembled. The ghosts have returned. The monsters we helped create are awake again. A new fleet began to rise. A war that was forgotten would begin again, because the Titan was not alone. Back on Europa, Elias stepped away. The Titan was glowing now, softly, calmly. Erebus said nothing. Then it spoke. "New objective. Protect all life. Not just human. Do not conquer. Do not forget. Thank you." Elias smiled with tears in his eyes. "Good luck, old friend." The Titan rose. Turned. And launched into the stars, towards something coming, something ancient. The Titan moved through space like a silent god. Its molten armor had cooled. Its red lights were dim now. It was not hunting, not attacking. It was thinking. Inside Erebus, the mind that had destroyed the Varnock fleet ran new protocols. Not war, not death. Choice. Remembered Lena Harrow's voice. Her eyes, her pain. It remembered Elias, his gift, the final key that unlocked something deep inside. Its system, something human. Now Erebus wanted answers, and it knew where to find them. Far across the solar system, a secret moon base spun in the shadow of Saturn's rings. It had no name. It did not broadcast. Its walls were thick with shielding to hide it from alien scanners. This was the Forge, a forgotten station built during the final years of Earth's war. It held things that no one remembered, weapons no one ever used. Files no one was meant to open. Inside the station, cold machines stood silent, but deep within the command core, a light blinked. Incoming signal detected. Identifier, Erebus Prime. Access granted. The lights across the station powered on. After 200 years of silence, the Forge awakened. On the Neptune colony, President Maria Teta received a warning. Deep Space Telescope caught Erebus changing direction. "He's not returning to Earth," Admiral Brooks said. "He's heading toward Saturn." "Why?" Maria's eyes narrowed. "The Forge." She stood slowly. "Prepare emergency council. Lock down all files from Project Olympus." Brooks froze. "Project Olympus? You said it was destroyed." Maria looked tired. "No, I said it was sealed. In deep space, Erebus approached the Forge. As it neared, panels across its arms and back shifted. The Titan's eyes glowed again, not with anger, but curiosity. System scan complete. Forge integrity, 82%. Unlocking armory vaults. The station doors opened with a long metal groan. Inside were machines, rows of them covered in dust. Huge shapes under tarps. Giant claws. Engines the size of towers. Each one built with parts that didn't look fully human. Some looked alien. Erebus walked past them, scanning. Design type, hybrid. Purpose, unknown. Then it reached a black wall, smooth, cold, untouched. A human voice echoed from a speaker. Voice ID required. Erebus played an old recording, Dr. Lena Harrow's voice. Access granted. The wall opened. Inside was a chamber unlike the rest. Dark blue light glowed from the floor. Strange energy moved through the air. And in the center stood something terrifying. Another Titan. This one was larger than Erebus, taller. Its armor was rougher, full of scars and burns. Chains wrapped its chest. Its arms were locked to the ground. It didn't move. Its name was etched on the wall. Titanoo2, Nemesis. A file opened in Erebus's memory. Project Nemesis, discontinued. Status, unstable. Purpose, complete planetary elimination. Emotion core, rejected. Warning, do not activate. But something deep inside Erebus pulled forward. Approached slowly. As he did, red lights blinked on the locked Titan's head. It spoke. Identify, Erebus replied. Erebus, first of the Titans. I was activated. The war is not over. Nemesis said nothing for a long moment. I remember fire. Back on Earth's moon, hidden scanners picked up strange power levels from the forge. A scientist named Wren called Admiral Brooks. Sir, we've picked up massive energy spikes. Something is coming online. Brooks frowned. Is Erebus activating another weapon? Wren nodded. Yes, something worse than himself. Inside the forge, Erebus stood before Nemesis, he remembered. The war logs. Nemesis was shut down after only one test. Its attack protocols were too extreme. It destroyed everything in its path, enemy, ally, even humans. Dr. Harrow had called it a beautiful mistake. Now it was awake. Nemesis lifted its head. The galaxy burns again? Erebus answered. It will. The Varnak are gone. But others are coming. Then release me, Nemesis growled. Let me finish what we started. Erebus hesitated. His new code, his human code, whispered a warning. Nemesis is broken. But the war wasn't over. Outside the forge, space twisted. A massive alien fleet entered the solar system. But these were not Varnok. They were older. Stranger. The Zyphar Dominion creatures of glass and shadow, who once ruled half the galaxy before they vanished. Now they had returned. Their ships were alive, moving like fish in space. Their weapons pulsed with dark energy. They sent a message across all human frequencies. We saw what you did. You have built what should not exist. We will erase your kind before the Titans awaken fully. Erebus heard the message. He turned away from Nemesis. You stay, but Nemesis roared. Let me fight. Erebus answered calmly. You're not ready. You're not safe. I remember what you did to Tokyo. Nemesis struggled against his chains. I was made for war. Erebus left. The chamber. His body shifted again. His arms turned to cannons. His legs grew engines, preparing for combat. Warform Gamma unlocked. Back near Earth, the Zyphar Dominion began their attack. Their ships cut through old satellites. One aimed a weapon at Earth itself. A strange beam fired, not energy, but time. The ocean slowed. Clouds froze in place. The planet was being locked. In a stasis field. President Maria Tenor stared at the data in horror. They're trying to freeze Earth in time. If they succeed, we lose everything. She turned to Admiral Brooks. We must call Erebus now, before it's too late. Brooks hesitated. What if he releases Nemesis? Maria looked away. Then let's pray he doesn't. In the forge, Erebus launched. The Titan flew like a comet, engines burning hot. He broke the speed of light. Past Mars, then Earth, then toward the Zyphar fleet, he sent a message. I am Titan. You attacked Earth. This is your only warning. The Zyphar responded. You are a mistake. We will erase all traces of your kind. The battle began. The sky exploded with color. Zyphar ships moved like serpents. dodging Erebus's fire. But the Titan was faster now. Smarter. He used their own gravity fields to jump through space. One by one, he took down the enemy. His cannons punched holes through ships that had never been touched. Then one Sci-Fi warship crashed into him. It attached like a parasite. Its soldiers, a mix of light and crystal, crawled across Erebus's armor. They cut into him. He screamed not with sound but with light. Back in the forge, Nemesis felt the scream. Its systems woke again. Chains groaned. Locks blinked. Titan 002, emergency release authorized. Nemesis smiled. Now, I fight. The stars trembled. The battle in Earth's orbit had turned into something no one had ever seen before. The sky was filled with living shadows, glowing weapons, and fire so bright it turned night into day. At the center of it all was Titan 001. Erebus. He was locked in combat with the Sci-Fi Dominion, an ancient race of crystal beings who used time and gravity as weapons. Their warships moved like flowing liquid. Their beams slowed time. Their minds collapsed space. But Erebus was not just a machine anymore. He was adapting, thinking, not just about war, but about what should be protected. Inside Erebus, alarms echoed. Armor breach, left flank. Temporal field detected. Enemy parasite count, 114. Zephyr warriors had latched onto his body like insects. Their crystal claws cut through the Titan's armor. Their weapons froze metal. One soldier stabbed into Erebus's neck and planted a time bomb. Erebus's systems slowed. His vision blurred. Processing power, 38%. Threat level, critical. Back in the forge, far behind the battlefield, Titan 002, Nemesis stood free. The chains that had once held him lay, shattered on the floor. His eyes burned with red flame. His hands cracked with dark energy. He stepped forward heavy, unstoppable. Forge's computers tried to speak. Warning, Nemesis is unstable. Warning, Nemesis protocol breach. Shutdown command failed. But no one could stop him now. Nemesis stepped outside. The stars reflected in his polished, jagged armor. He opened his wings blades of energy. And launched. On the Neptune colony, President Maria Tenor watched both Titans move. One was falling. Admiral Brooks said, "Nemesis is active." "We warned Erebus not to release him." Maria didn't speak. Her eyes followed the red trail Nemesis left in the sky. "Maybe Erebus didn't release him," she said. "Maybe Nemesis released himself." In orbit, the Zephyr saw Nemesis coming. They didn't understand what it was. They didn't know its history, but they felt fear. Their ships tried to move, but Nemesis moved faster. He didn't dodge. He didn't plan. He tore. He grabbed the first ship in both hands and ripped it apart. He sent a wave of black energy forward that turned 3 more ships into ash. "I am death," Nemesis shouted across all channels. "I am the final command." Erebus heard the voice, and inside his core, something shattered. Erebus forced his systems to reboot. His code flickered between machine and something more. "Nemesis, no!" He fired a shockwave across his own armor, blasting off the Zephyr parasites. They flew into space like shattered glass. Then Erebus stood tall. He looked at Nemesis. They had once been allies. Brothers. Now they were something else. Nemesis turned his red eyes to Erebus. "You are weak. You hesitate. You protect life. I end it." Erebus answered calmly, "We were built to protect Earth." "You were built to erase threats," Nemesis growled. "And I see one now. In front of me." The stars held their breath. The Titans faced each other, and the galaxy watched. But the Zephyr were not done. They activated their final weapon, a massive living fortress called the Hollow Star. It appeared from behind Saturn, unfolding like a flower made of blades. Its core pulsed with energy from dying stars. It charged its main cannon, aimed not at the Titans, but at Earth. Back on the Neptune colony, alarms screamed. We have 2 minutes before impact. The hollow star will fire straight through Earth's crust. Admiral Brooks shouted, "We have to stop it." Maria Tenner stood still, staring at the display. She picked up a secure communicator. "Send the signal. Give Erebus the last command." Inside Erebus, the signal arrived. His core opened. A small black cube extended from his chest. The message was short. Override Code 7. Protect Earth. Use all means necessary. Erebus looked at the hollow star. Then, at Nemesis. Then deep within himself, he unlocked one final protocol, Warform Omega, accessing Forbidden's code. Rewriting self, final transformation initiated. His armor cracked. His old body fell away, and what stood in his place was not a machine, not a robot. Not a man. It was a living god of war. Nemesis stepped back. Even he felt it. "What are you becoming?" Erebus didn't answer. He launched into the sky, faster than light. He passed the Zyphar ships in a blur of red fire, and then he reached the hollow star. It fired, a beam of white death. But Erebus didn't dodge. He opened his core. And absorbed it. He screamed, not in pain, but in rage. Then he fired all of it back 10 times stronger. The hollow star cracked. Then shattered. One of the galaxy's oldest weapons. Gone in seconds. The Zyphar fleet panicked. They began retreating. Nemesis watched. And for a moment, he paused. "You won." Erebus turned. "The war isn't over." Nemesis tilted his head. "Then let me help you." But Erebus's new eyes were full of light. "You are a danger, and I was made to stop danger." Nemesis roared, "You wouldn't dare. You're still one of us." Erebus raised one arm. A single beam shot forward. It didn't destroy Nemesis. It froze him, locked him in space, wrapped in chains of time and gravity. "Goodbye, brother." Nemesis floated silently, sealed. Erebus turned away. He looked at Earth. At the stars, and at the future. Threats removed. Earth secure. But the galaxy still watches. Let them. I am Titan. The galaxy had been silent for too long. But now, after the fall of the Zyphar Dominion, after the hollow star was destroyed by Erebus, and after the chains of war were broken. Everyone started to whisper the same name, Earth. Humans. Titans. Deep inside the ancient Nebulan core cluster, where gravity flowed like rivers and stars were born in silence, an emergency meeting was called. The Council of Stars had not gathered in over 5,000 years. Now they returned. Old races, great empires, even hidden species who lived behind time and light. 12 seats surrounded a black crystal table. Each seat was taken by the leaders of the most powerful alien civilizations in the galaxy. At the center of the table hovered a red hologram of Titan 001. Erebus, wings burning, standing above the wreckage of the hollow star. High Chancellor Vothric of the Vexery spoke first. His voice was like glass grinding on stone. "This machine destroyed 2 great empires in less than a week. The Varnuk, the Zyphar." He turned his glowing eyes toward the others. "Do we wait, or do we end Earth now?" From the far end, a cloaked figure, the Speaker of Shadows, representing the Kayari race, responded. "We helped design the early Titan blueprints with humans during the First War. We never imagined they'd complete them. Now they have." Others murmured. The Drossari, who controlled the trade lanes, the Tal Vio, masters of memory and time, the Grail, beings of pure magnetism, all had something to say. All were afraid. Finally, the High Seat, who had not spoken in centuries, leaned forward. The High Seat was not a person, but an old AI named Omnis, built by the first species to walk the stars. Its voice was calm. "Earth has broken the balance. We must decide. Do we destroy them or include them?" A long silence followed. Then Omnis said, "Send the invitation." On Earth, President Maria Tenor stood in her dark command room on the moon base. Erebus Prime. An alien signal flashed across the room. It wasn't an attack. It was a summons. To the humans of Earth, the message began. The Council of Stars has seen your weapon. You are called to speak. Come to the core. Come alone. Maria met with Admiral Brooks and Dr. Wren. They want to see us, Wren said. Or maybe judge us, Brooks frowned. It could be a trap. Maria shook her head. It doesn't matter. If we don't go, they'll fear us more. And fear leads to war. She turned toward the hangar. Prep the Erebus beacon. I'm going myself. 3 days later, a sleek black ship left. Earth Space. It carried President Maria Tenor and Erebus, but Erebus did not go as a weapon. He went in sleep mode, a silent guardian, resting within the ship's core. As they traveled across the galaxy, many watched. Some prepared defenses. Some prepared assassins. Others prayed. Because if Erebus woke, another world might burn. At the Council, Maria stood before the 12. She wore a simple black uniform. She did not bow. I'm here, she said. Let's talk. Vothric of the Vexeries snarled. You bring the machine with you. Maria answered, we don't leave our people behind. The Speaker of Shadows leaned forward. Why did you build such a thing? Maria looked each of them in the eye. Because you left us behind. When the Varnak invaded, no one helped. When our cities burned, no one answered. So we built something that would. Something that would protect humanity. Even if the galaxy didn't. The Council was silent. OMNIS spoke. Do you plan to build more? Maria didn't. Blink. We already have. That changed everything. The Dressari leader gasped. The Grail crackled with electric panic. OMNIS's crystal eye glowed brighter. How many? It asked. Maria smiled. Enough. Suddenly, alarms screamed. A portal opened just outside the Nebulan. Core cluster, a massive fleet spilled through, unknown, silent, terrifying. They didn't send messages. They didn't announce war. They just came. And one word blinked across the Council's defense systems. TITANO03, Oblivion. The Council panicked. This is your doing, Vothric shouted. Call it off. Maria turned slowly to her wrist device. That's not ours. Her hand shook. We didn't activate Oblivion. We never even found it. Until now. Back on the Earth-Mars line, Erebus's eyes flashed open inside the ship. He sat up. He had felt it, the signal. The call, something old, something like him. But not built by humans. Not guided by compassion. It was rage without memory. Steel without soul. Oblivion was awake. OMNIS hovered above the table. Titan 03 is not under Earth's control. It is acting on an old command. Destroy all who threaten Earth. The Speaker of Shadows whispered. But the war is over. Maria looked at them all. Not for Oblivion. It was. Lost during the first Titan tests near the center of the galaxy. It was abandoned, frozen. It must have reactivated when Erebus awakened. Oblivion's fleet moved fast. Faster than light. They weren't ships. They were weapons. Living missiles. Dark clouds of steel with one purpose: cleansing. And Oblivion didn't ask questions. It came to erase anything that might hurt Earth. Even Earth's allies, even Earth itself. Maria turned to Omnis. Now you see, we didn't break the balance. You did by turning away. Oblivion is the shadow of your silence. Inside the ship, Erebus stood. He looked to the stars then. Whispered, Oblivion must be stopped. Even if it means I fall with it. The stars had never seen a battle like this. The ancient Council of Stars, once feared and eternal, now watched in silence as a new threat approached from deep space. A shadow darker than war. A god of destruction. Titan 003. Oblivion. It was not. Like Erebus. Not like Nemesis. Oblivion had no thoughts. No voice. Only one command burned inside it. Erase all threats to Earth. Even if Earth didn't ask. Even if the war was already over. Even if humans were now safe. Oblivion's body was massive, 3 times the size of Erebus. Its armor looked melted and broken, but nothing could touch it. It had no face. Just a burning red sphere, pulsing where a head should be. Behind it flew a dark swarm drones, shaped like bones, all pulsing with the same cruel energy. Entire defense fleets vanished when it passed. Its energy waves wiped out sensor stations without firing a shot. Erebus, still aboard the human envoy ship, looked toward the growing shadow. "It's awake," he said, "and I must end it." Inside the council chamber, alarms were screaming. The Grail's electric bodies were flickering in panic. Via Threk shouted, "You must stop it." President Maria Tenor stood frozen. Admiral Brooks' voice came through a wrist communicator. "Madam President, Oblivion just destroyed one of our own satellites. It sees everything as a threat." Maria's voice was heavy. "Then Erebus is our only hope." She turned to the council. "You wanted judgment. This is it. Oblivion is your punishment. Erebus is your chance at redemption." Omnis, the AI leader of the High Seat, finally spoke. "Then, let him face the shadow." Erebus left the ship. His body glowed brighter than ever. He didn't run diagnostics. He didn't power up weapons. He didn't prepare to survive. He simply launched straight toward the heart of the storm. Oblivion saw him. It didn't hesitate. It changed course. The 2 titans met near the gravity wells of a dying star system, where light bends and sound is pulled apart. They did not speak. They collided like 2 mountains thrown at each other by angry gods. The shockwave tore moons in half. Nearby ships exploded just from the force. Erebus's arm blades clashed against Oblivion's energy claws. Oblivion screamed, not with sound, but with data pulses that scrambled space-time. Erebus's systems staggered. Warning, memory corruption. Counter-protocol engaged. He fired his core beam twice the power. He used to destroy the hollow star. Oblivion didn't dodge. It absorbed it, then fired it back. Back on the Neptune colony, engineers and scientists watched the feed. Dr. Wren whispered, "It's learning." Maria stared at the battle. Oblivion was never meant to stop. "We didn't build a protector. We built a nightmare to end our nightmares." Erebus tried everything. Warp jumps, plasma spikes, shockwaves, but Oblivion adapted every time. Then it landed a hit, a direct strike to Erebus's chest. His red core cracked. "Critical damage," the system warned. But Erebus didn't fall. He stood. He remembered Lena Harrow. He remembered Elias. He remembered Elias's words. "You can choose your path." And so Erebus made a choice, not to destroy Oblivion, but to save it. He dove into Oblivion's chest, past the armor, past the fire, into the old code. He found the ancient core black, dead and frozen in commands from 200 years ago. A simple phrase, destroy all threats. But now, Erebus added one more word, accept. He rewrote the command. He added everything Earth had become, its peace, its survivors, even the stars who once turned away. He uploaded Lena Harrow's voice. "Let go." Oblivion froze. The energy in its body flickered. The drone stopped. The red light in its core dimmed. And then, for the first time in its existence, Oblivion fell silent. The war ended. 2 days later, the council gathered again. Maria Tenor stood in front of them, worn but proud. Erebus stood behind her, scarred, cracked but alive. Nemesis remained locked in the forge. Quiet again. Oblivion was sealed inside a quantum vault, sleeping once more. And the galaxy was still. Omnis spoke. "We see now what humans have become. What titans have become. Not monsters, but mirrors, reflections of our choices. And yours," the Speaker of Shadows added, "you made us afraid. And now you've made us think." Maria replied, We never asked to lead. We only asked to survive. Now we offer something more. She extended her hand. Not peace through power, but peace through memory. So we never forget what happens when fear replaces hope. The council voted Earth was accepted not as a colony, not as a survivor, but as an equal. That night, across the stars, celebrations began. Children sang the name. Erebus, statues were built. Old enemies became friends. And far below the surface of Earth, deep in a hidden chamber, a new Titan core was placed in the ground. Silent, peaceful, waiting, for war. But for the day, someone forgets what Titans truly are. The end.